Afternoon, and a very warm welcome to all the men, the women, the boys, the girls and all the kids in the Heidelberg family across the country, across the world. We have got the big one this afternoon. We're here at Catalina Street for the matchup between, well, the two monoliths of the NPL here in Victoria. The Bentleigh Greens and Heidelberg United, John. Just settling in. Welcome to everybody on HUFC TV and radio this afternoon. It is a monster match-up between these two sides. They've contested the last four big finals here in Victoria. They are not overly fond of each other. There's professional respect, but they're going toe-to-toe this afternoon. Heidelberg against the Bentleigh Greens. Thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers and Unique Automotive this afternoon. And just a very quick mention too, if you're following the women's progress out at Box Hill this afternoon, they kicked off at 3 o'clock this afternoon, coming into half time. The women holding their own 0-0 against Box Hill. Jay Fott, welcome.
And welcome to you too, Greg, and welcome to all of our listeners on HUFC radio and our viewers on HUFC TV. Got to make sure we get that right way around, because last week I was talking about non-viewing radio. So I don't want to make that mistake again. But, Greg, it is a huge match, because the ramifications of this game going into the final few fixtures could be huge. If the Burgers can actually win this, they will go clear 5 points ahead of Bentleigh Greens, and with a game in hand of Bentleigh Greens.
Ladder ramifications, John Fodinos, are one thing.
But then yes.
But this is what I'll propose is Bentleigh Greens, they get the W today and they will feel pretty darn good about themselves going, because you know these two heavy hitters are going to be in the finals. They're going to be in the playoffs. You wouldn't want to lose another one to the Bentleigh Greens this afternoon. It's huge. It is huge,
and well, the other big talking point, Greg, is that Heidelberg will have a completely new coaching panel on the bench. Of course, both...
Was it not odd? I mean, we were sitting up here in comms for HUFC TV. We await the appearance of Heidelberg and Bentleigh Greens. We were sitting here in comms, and then all of a sudden, George Katsakis wanders past. Jeff Olver wanders past, disappearing up into the VIP area. And just say, what's wrong with this picture? But of course, both of them suspended this afternoon. So who's down on the...
Well, from what I gather, it's going to be the technical director of coaching who is the nominal coach for this afternoon. That's Michael Pitchner. And it'll be Alex Gymnopoulos, the assistant coach this afternoon. Of course, he's the coach of the under-20 squad. And, we can say that the under-20s finished in a 0-0 draw, so to complete that part of it.
And, of course, the coaches, the suspended coaches, can have no active contact with the playing group.
Not at all.
So whatever instructions were issued, I guess, at training on Thursday night will be the final ones. What is going on comms this afternoon?
Just getting Spielberg setting himself up.
He's doing a tremendous... That's some great background noise. So let's have a look at the team first of all, John, for this afternoon, round 21 of the NPL here in Victoria, as they face off against the Bentleigh Greens. My equipment's been tampered with without my knowledge. Here come the two sides on to Olympic Village this afternoon. There's a chill in the air. It's beautiful sunshine, but there is a chill in the air. There's a breeze blowing to the right of screen down towards the southern road end. And it's with looks of resolve and steely determination. The Bentleigh Greens and the Heidelberg Warriors join us at headquarters this afternoon.
Yeah, Greg, in the team lineups, we've got Sean Ellis, of course, who was suspended for a week following that rather contentious Doherty Cup final match. It's hard to believe that it was barely 10 days ago, Greg. Just amazing so much has happened in that time. So here comes back Sean Ellis, as does someone that the Burgers will be very happy to see back in the squad, and that's the redoubtable Jumpin' Jack Petrie.
Just jumped at if you can obviously hear that
absolutely.
In comms. The wind is gusting up.
Down towards the southern road end, of course. And
scoreboard end.
And
And look at it. You just wonder. I mean, it's just part of the the fair play and like your opponent and good to see you and all that sort of stuff. But you wonder as they go down and slap palms, what's going through their head.
Well, make no mistake, they'll be up for it, Greg. Both sides, as I said, just not just for the ladder position, as you quite rightly pointed out, but also psychologically to really stamp themselves one way or the other. If the Burgers could jag a win, it would absolutely make it very difficult for anyone else to catch the Burgers.
And it must be said, John, again, just having some conversations behind the scenes. It's there's a couple of blokes don't like a couple of blokes out there. So that makes it interesting. There's a bit of spice in the dish, which is fantastic. It ended acrimoniously, the Doherty Cup final, as you recall.
Yeah, 2-0 win to the Bentleigh Greens in that game, but the second goal was just basically icing on the cake. The damage was done in probably the first 15 minutes with the own goal. Unfortunate Stephen Pace, but that's how tight it is between these two sides. That the last two games, even though Bentley's taken them out, one of those, as Paul O'Brien pointed out in the Weekend Pump episode, just a couple
from the Gold Coast.
From the Gold Coast, yeah,
lovely up there.
That was sensational.
It really was.
But as he pointed out, the first time this season that the Bentleigh Greens won down there in round 8 was a deflected goal, and then Stephen Pace's own goal was the big factor in the Doherty Cup final. So there's not much in there, and the Burgers will really want to, take any chances that they can create this afternoon, Greg.
Well, strap yourselves in at home. We have got the big one. Bentleigh Greens here at Catalina Street this afternoon against Heidelberg. The engines are revving. We're just seconds away from go time as Bentleigh Greens, Chris Lucas, first use of the footy. Bentleigh Greens heading toward that southern road end with the aid of the breeze. Heidelberg in the magnificent yellow and black will be attacking the social club end of the ground. On the bench for Heidelberg this afternoon, the little cat, Jumpin' Jack, Harvey Reid, George Salakidis, and never ever forget Christian Pavlidis. Never going to not mention him again, John.
They need to mention him, and of course it's a very strong Bentleigh Greens lineup as well, Greg. A lot of good players in that side.
Well, the sequence since the grand final last year, which Bentleigh Greens beat Heidelberg, of course, and the loss in the Doherty Cup final as Bentleigh Greens come forward. And a searing shot across the goal face from Dimi Hatzimaridis is well wide of the mark.
Yes, and Dimi Hatzimaridis, the player that scored the winning goal, well, the first goal, sorry, in the 2017 Doherty Cup final. Back in the lineup this evening, I think he came on as a substitute in that Doherty Cup final just, as we said, 12 days ago, Greg.
Minute played, thanks to Unique Automotive and, of course, Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, as the hyphenator goes into the win, stays in board. Back for Jack Webster, the captain. Nope. And in the end, Ryan Scott hooks one clear, left foot to half field. Bentleigh Greens come up with it. Long and high from Hatzimaridis. Great win by Les Dumbala. Second effort was brilliant. Stabs at it for Zara. He had his pocket picked, and reverse turnover as Ruben Way. Wasted in the end. He powered his way up field and then just knocked it out of play.
He was looking for the support run from Harry Noon, but just got the angles wrong there that time.
2 minutes played. I'm freezing, by the way. That breeze that's going down the ground from left to right is very, very chilly as Heidelberg move it forward. Cahill, the up and under outside for Harry. Corral towards the Harry Noon flag and then powered over the line by James Idias. It's going to be a throw in to Heidelberg at the Harry Noon corner at the social club end, Comms side of the ground. 0-0 scoreline on HUFC TV and radio. Dumbalis sends it back downfield. Biles looked to launch, instead hits Dumbalis, far post header off the crossbar.
That's a goal.
They're saying it went in. Oh my word! Tommy Cahill Gets the go-ahead. It hit the woodwork. We're going to have to see that one again. The goalkeeper, Ryan Scott, thought he had it safely in his hands, but the
we may not be able to see
far side
that.
official, we won't get to see that again. Oh, dear, what a wonderful start for Heidelberg. We're only 2 minutes old.
Yeah, great goal. A great crossing that time by Les Dumbalis. And climbing well was Tom Cahill. It hit the underside of the bar, and immediately that was instantaneous reaction by the assistant referee on that main grandstand side, straight away pointing towards the middle of the ground, and the referee noticed that immediately, and Heidelberg, well, what a shock lead. Not a shock in terms of being able
You've
to
lost
break the
for
check.
words. Tommy Cahill on to header far post from Dumbala's cross, and it's 1-0 Heidelberg to the naked eye, and from our angle here, it was very hard to tell, but the linesman on the far side was fairly emphatic, wasn't he?
It was an instantaneous raise of the flag and heading straight back towards that centre line. So there was no doubt in that particular assistant referee's mind.
So Heidelberg have made a very, very early line in the sand statement here at Catalina Street this afternoon against their bitterest rivals in the competition. And, of course, the two big guns of the comp, it's Tyson Holmes gets a cannon off his chest. It's going to be a throw into Heidelberg on the far side. Defensive territory. 2 minutes in, and Tom Cahill gets the go-ahead goal with 4.5 away. Launched toward midfield. And Tommy Cahill will be thrilled with that. He's on the ball now, back to goal at half field. Goes long back. Wilkins launches a rocket down the right-hand lane. It's back with Ryan Scott. Harry Noon brought the pressure. Bentleigh Greens, they'll be shell-shocked right now. Back in defensive territory for the visitors.
Well, Greg, we're just we were just trying to get our breath back and just settle into this game. And
Sidious and Lucas. Lucas looks long and high, and Theodoridis in the end had to fingertip it over the bar. That was top stuff from Chris Lucas. And he had the hyphenator backtracking. It's going to be a corner to the Bentleigh Greens. What a rock and roll start to this one. 5.5 old. Heidelberg by 1. Bentleigh Greens come counter-punching at the other end. Referee is having a chat to whom?
I think a few players in the 6-yard box there, just having a chat.
Little wrestle as the corner comes in from the outer side of the ground, near post. Glancing header, Cahill into the hot spot. Nobody knows much about it, and Theodoridis Petropoulos in the end arched his back, clambered skyward and dragged it in double-handed.
Well, that wind really is fluky. It's gusting in and out, Greg, and that's going to play a bit of havoc with that. You can see Chris Lucas shot before the corner there. He actually did go for that and put the keeper under the pump.
Theodoridis Petropoulos guns it. Look, it sits in the wind. Cahill angled the header on. Look at the champ was hammering down. Charles Fry with the clearance.
Offside call there.
What an opening. Heidelberg by 1, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. And, of course, game day sponsors, Unique Automotive. It's Jay Fotten Blakey calling the action. Coachless Heidelberg, well, not coachless, but...
not with a regular lineup.
Not with a regular lineup. So, that everything this season, Heidelberg have been tested in so many ways. And, again, they rise to the occasion. Sidious down through half field. Lucas is upended by Dumbalis. Nothing called. Physical early. Expect nothing less. Throw in Sidious in front of Combs. Attacking territory. Southern Road end and popped out of play. Dumbalis and Tyson Holmes have a discussion. Yeah, Dumbalis getting in the face of Tyson Holmes. And, wow, you reckon this isn't far away from spilling over. It's a throw-in. Sidious waits. Deep in attack. Southern Road, scoreboard end. He waits a long time. Zara got the foot in. Noon back for the champ, who launches it left-right. It's going to be picked off by Bentleigh Greens. They'll come again into the penalty area. Biles got his right foot into it. A long, high, looping ball out of the area. Greens come up again. They're relentless, the Bentleigh Greens. Shot pummeled off the legs of JW. Bentleigh Greens again. Well, plenty of possession in the front half of the Bentleigh Greens since that Heidelberg goal. Away again, scampering after it is Brodie Taylor. He knocks it long back to the skipper, Jack Webster. And Bentleigh Greens pressured into spearing it back for Ryan Scott. Goes outside for Fry, backs to Webster. Just holding the footy, patient, the Bentleigh Greens, down by 1. 8.5 played. We'll keep the progress on the women if we can too. Tyson Holmes into the box and over the bar by a squillimetre from Dimi Hatzimaradis. Well, that was incisive then by the Bentleigh Greens, and they are threatening.
Yeah, that's the player they don't want to leave a lot of time on the ball. There's Tyson Holmes, who was the best player afield during that Doherty Cup final. Found himself in that little pocket of space, drove the ball through, and eventually Hatzimaradis spilling the shot over the bar, but early warning sign for the Heidelberg midfield to close down on Tyson Holmes.
There was something about Thursday night. We were both down here about training on Thursday night. It was teeming rain, there was thunderclaps, and there was lightning as Bentleigh Greens manoeuvre it forward again. Outside left. Ball back for Fry, who squares it. HUFC TV and radio this afternoon. Going to ground was Brodie Taylor, and it's going to be a free kick to the Bentleigh Greens, about 8 metres inside attacking territory. Wide left toward the southern road end.
You think that might be the pattern of this first half, with the strong breeze blowing towards that scoreboard end, Greg?
It really is. Tyson Holmes, the cutback. Ellis chops it off. JW strides away, powers away, JW. Hold it in his stride. Tommy Cahill, goal scorer, working way back. Noon. Cahill from his own half paints a rainbow into Bentleigh Greens territory, and the angled header from Blake Thompson out of play. It's going to be a throw into Heidelberg at the social club end. Yeah, training on Thursday night, I mean, the look of,
a lot of pep
resolve and determination about the boys in the rain and the lightning, and you just thought, gee, I reckon they're up for this.
You know, any chance, I don't think there was any chance given the events. I'm just trying to not talk over this ground announcement because it's very disconcerting, but yeah, if there's any chance for getting one back on the Bentleigh Greens, and psychologically, and also, as we said, a chance to really stamp themselves as the top team on the table.
So we've played 11, and it's Heidelberg up by a goal to nil. Tommy Cahill came off the woodwork just 2 minutes in. Looked at as if it was going to be play on, but the linesman on the far side indicated it had edged its way over the goal line. As Heidelberg now on the attack, Cahill almost loses it, and then his left foot is hooked wide. So it's going to be a corner to Heidelberg. They lead by 1. Most of the footy's been played at the southern road end.
Great play there by Sean Ellis. Just willed himself to win that ball. Got it through to Tom Cahill, and eventually the kick was spewed wide.
So it's going to be a corner from the Harry Noon corner.
And short corner to Luke Biles.
Biles will pull it back toward the far post. Glancing header clear. Sean Ellis is after it. Will fetch it. Keeps it inboard. Wide right. Into the hot spot. And is claims for handball as the Bentleigh Greens clear. Oh, well dragged in. That was really good.
Yeah, kept his calm well.
Quick and long. Bentleigh Greens won't only half clear it. Cahill edges the header wide right. JW is there for Heidelberg. Stutter step. Goes the second time. Greens. Oh, that was brave by Zara. Hits the deck. Free kick. Clearly.
Brilliant play by Zara.
He was terrific then. Really brave. And brought to ground, and that is, well, despite the fact that it'll be into the wind, into the breeze.
Oh, this is definitely
always dangerous.
Sean Ellis territory, Greg, isn't it?
Be curious to see that handball incident inside the penalty box right now.
Referee was quite adamant from the get-go that nothing doing.
So it is a free kick to Heidelberg. They're up by 1 against the Bentleigh Greens. We've paid 13.5. And it's going to be the flame-haired Scott. Sean Ellis on that left foot, curls it, went near post, goalkeeper read it early, Ryan Scott, scampers away, hammers it long, punts it long, deep into Heidelberg territory. Gee, these two sides, they're heavyweights of the comp, aren't they?
Absolutely, Greg. You can see the tempo's up, the passion's out there, and every little challenge will be ridden.
Ball is back with Ryan Scott at the social club end.
And Nick's got the replay up, Greg. That ball played in. It didn't look to be... Well, it might have come off the shoulder. But we'll get back with the live action here just near the Bentleigh Greens coach's bench.
14.5 played. Ruben Way half clears it. Zidius under pressure from long striding. Got a quick release inside for Wesley. Swept away. Heidelberg on the roll again. Zara outside for the champ. The champ did really well, actually. Had to come to a full stop. Leaves it for Zara. Back wide left. Noon. Toe pokes it back down the line. Dumbalis. And then it starts again with the skipper. Square ball for the barometer. Stephen Pace. Hall still at midfield. Nothing opening up, so Hall again. Now it's back with Biles. What's a finger pointing there, Jafer?
I'm just trying to get this barrier back so you can see in that corner flag there.
Stephen Pace. JW in attacking territory. Didn't unleash the horsepower, though. Ellis. He's never corralled that man. Goes far post for Harry Noon, who was bodied out of it well. Goalkeeper fetches. And Bentleigh Greens to midfield. Zidius robbed by long striding. Well played. Man through the gap is Ruben. Ruben has a look. He's got options both sides of him. Elects to go short for Harry Noon.
He's caught offside, Greg.
Gee, it can't have been by much. Half a step. Half a step, Jay Fott.
Fair enough. Linesman right on the spot there.
So 15, nearly 16 away. And we've got the big one first, second. The two sides that have duked it out in the last 4 big finals here in Victoria. Two sides destined to meet again, I suspect, in the finals. Two sides who don't have a lot of love for each other, John. Just as I'm not overly fond of you, and yet here we are.
Yeah, and the wind's really whipping up, Greg. You can hear it in our effects mics.
Yeah, really can. It's gusting up. It's very chilly, and as we said, it's heading to the right of the screen to the advantage of the Bentleigh Greens in this first half. Scramble. Zara keeps it on the deck, and in the end, it's back for the goalkeeper, Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos. Oh, Harry Noon was very bold then against Charles Fry. Fry will come up with it though, stabs it up route 1. Wesley tried to get it past a double challenge from Zara. The ball spilled. The ball won by JW. Neatly inside. Zara outside. The champ, Ruben. Matches dance steps with his opponent. Ruben hooks it back. Zara was muscled out of it. Retained possession. The release ball for JW back about 10, wide right. Goes in low and hard toward the top of the 6-yard box. It's hammered back toward midfield. Long and high by the barometer. And in the end, the goalkeeper, Ryan Scott, clears. It's a thrilling game, but it's an odd game too.
They're just... It's just thrust and parry at the moment. There's a
Cahill with the chase deep toward the Harry Noon flag. Harry almost stepped inside the challenge. That was really well won by the Mexican for Ruben, and back down the line to half field again. comms side of the ground. Luke Biles, dangerous one. It went whizzing between Cahill and the defender and into the arms of Ryan Scott again at the social club end. Heidelberg, if you are just joining us, leading it by 1. A goal on 2 minutes from the top cat, Tommy Cahill.
Yes, and that was his 15th in all games, Greg. 11th in the NPL.
Yeah, he's been great value, hasn't he? Since joining the club from the Melbourne Knights earlier in this year. He does the hard work, and it's on. There you go. It starts. Jack Webster and Harry Noon go eyeball to eyeball. Two fiery characters at midfield. A slurry of players head toward the trouble spot, but dispersed quickly.
It wouldn't be a Heidelberg Bentleigh game without a bit of argy-bargy, would it, Greg?
No, I can't actually think of a Bentleigh Greens Heidelberg game in the last couple of years that hasn't been very, very willing indeed. John, we've played 19. Heidelberg 1-0, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. And, of course, Unique Automotive.
Yep, Unique Automotive down in Dundas Street, Preston. For all your smash repairs and automotive works.
Take the green Camry in there. It's got a few dings in it, John. As Bentleigh Greens launch the attack. Oh, danger, Lucas. And that was brave by the hyphenator. He threw himself at the feet of the sandy-haired number 9 and cleaned it up for Heidelberg again. Rolls it leisurely for Ruben, who goes down the left lane. Tommy Cahill had to weave his way back into his own half. Relief through Dumbalis. Pressure came from Lucas. Ball hooked back for the hyphenator. He goes first time toward midfield again. Cahill wanted a better angle on that header because it's going to be picked off by Bentleigh Greens. He's a danger man early, Lucas. And he hooked one around the body of Les Dumbalis. But again, the hyphenator was on deck and on duty and took it in the breadbasket, John.
Yeah, once again, the danger there. The ball given away in the midfield, and Heidelberg won it. Want to keep an eye on that one. Won't want to give a lot of time and space to the Bentleigh Greens midfield there.
So it's Jay Fotten Blakey calling the action this afternoon. Heidelberg manoeuvre it forward. Cahill under pressure. Back for Zara. Another 10 back for Dumbalis. Wide left. Smashed it into Ethan Wesley for Bentleigh Greens, who clears. It was Mitrovic. And danger again for Heidelberg. That time it was the diminutive Jimmy Hatzimaradis, and into the arms of Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos at the southern road end. Don't be fooled by that beautiful sunshine across Catalina Street. It is very, very cold. There's a southern breeze coming in, and it's chilling the air. As Harry Noon toe pokes it. Ellis runs deep. Right corner flag. Social club end. Cleared. Corner to Heidelberg.
A good result that time. He would have been was on his wrong or non-favoured side and won the corner.
21 and a half played. Heidelberg by a goal to 0. HUFC TV and radio. Going into half-time was 0-0. The women down at Box Hill this afternoon. We're waiting right now on progress scores so we can let you know exactly what's happening with the ladies this afternoon. Corner, Heidelberg, Ellis near post. Powered clear by Zidius. Galloping run by Ellis to fetch it again. Comes from very, very deep. Long and high. Cahill against Ryan Scott. They were both brave. Cahill's come up looking a little hurt, but Ryan Scott came up with the footy. So Bentleigh Greens away, first and second on the ladder. Played off in the Doherty Cup final. Played off in the Community Shield. Played off in the grand final last year.
Adrian Zara just bundling over Dimi Hatzimaradis, and they'll look to go early.
Tyson Holmes spears it forward for Lucas. Lucas lofts it, far post. Oh, well, the header was bullet-like, but it was straight into the arms of Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos, who grabbed it like he just caught a baby out of a six-store window.
I reckon that might have been a scissor kick by Mitrovic that time, Greg.
Let's watch it
Yeah,
again.
he got the...
No, I reckon the header was, well, regardless, Christiadouridis Petropoulos was very, very happy.
Great positioning.
Very, very happy indeed. Launched forward, Noon.
That's the
Cahill with heavy traffic around him. Ball back to the barometer. It was a rainmaker, Harry Noon. Bullocks his way to the front of the contest and gets the free kick. Harry's not happy about the treatment. Has a talk to the referee. He's got the free kick. He earned the free kick.
I think he's complaining that they've been doing that on a few occasions, and that one he couldn't have missed because it was right in front of the match official.
Biles left foot across the body to wide right. Wilkins, and it was wasted. He just lofted it. Heading far post, looking for Harry.
Yeah, misjudged the strength of the breeze that time and overhit the ball, Greg.
So, Bentleigh Greens on the move again. Mitrovic outside left. Oh, JW almost robbed. Well, was robbed. Brodie Taylor runs it to the line, hooks it back. Danger, and that's in. What's the call? Oh, look.
No, someone, I think, handballed it in there.
Oh, now it's happening again. It is happening again. The boys are back in town. Lewis Hall is in there.
I think there might have been a deliberate handball in there somewhere amongst all that.
We'll see if we can get it on replay. It ended in the net. So did three players.
Yes, definitely handballed in by Dimi Hadjimuradis.
So Lewis Hall, long striding, having a word with the near side linesman.
Can we get that up again, Nick? The Spielberg will get it. You can see, Greg, I think as the ball was played in, you can see there on the slow-mo replay, was crossed in, and I think the number 17 at the far post there coming in, Hadjimuradis, deliberate handball.
Oh, absolutely. And then you see just a little discussion after in the goal net at the Southern Road end. So, oh dear.
Spielberg's dropped the headset there, Greg.
And the long ball from Theodoridis Petropoulos.
The upshot of that is it was a yellow card to Hadjimuradis, of course, for the deliberate handball.
Well, Bentleigh Greens are up in this game up to their ears right now, but on the scoreboard they're behind. Dumbalis goes long. Jack Webster, the captain, spreads it for the runner on that right-hand side. Square ball inside. Ethan Wesley. Tyson Holmes. Lucas can't control it. Secondary ball by Zidius was an easy take for the skipper from Heidelberg. Here they come again. Bentleigh Greens pressuring again. Outside runner, Tyson Holmes, deep toward the line, goes near post. The ball pings around Dumbalis and Luke Biles, and in the end, Ruben Way clears it. Didn't know much about that. It was like a pinball. And it's going to be a throw-in.
Probably had more time than he realised there, did Ruben Way, but opting for the safety first crossfield ball.
26 played, and the two heavyweights. This is like Foreman and Ali. That's probably showing my age. But they are the two monoliths really, of the competition.
Slugging it out, aren't they, Greg?
Yeah. Oh, this is great stuff. If you're not here today and you're not watching and you're not listening and you're not much of a Heidelberg supporter, because this is the match you want to know about. You want to be there.
And Heidelberg will win the free kick there against Tyson Holmes. A chance to recalibrate.
So inside defensive territory by about 20 metres, and looks like Spielberg's headsets hit the deck again as the barometer goes into the wind. It falls well for Cahill. Long way out from the target zone though. Back for Biles. Left footer sits in the breeze. Headed down Harry Noon. Bentleigh Greens will clear. Well done. Ethan Wesley. Well done. Charles Fry in there. Almost on the counter attack as Lucas powers his way into the penalty area, but Theodoridis Petropoulos, he's been in rare form this season, the Heidelberg goalkeeper. Yeah, takes it cleanly from Dumbalis, launches it up the left-hand sideline. It hooks back in. Harry Noon was waiting for it. A gaggle of Bentleigh Greens players. Forward they go in front of the coach's box, which is bereft of senior coach and senior assistant coach this afternoon, both suspended, both sitting behind us in the social club. Long high ball again, sits in the breeze. Harry was bold and brave, tried to play it into the path of Sean Ellis. Cleared instead by Brodie Taylor, only to midfield. That was really well done.
There's Hideous again.
He's been good, hasn't he, Hideous? As he waits, short give, pressure, haul on Tyson Holmes. The ball spills out of play almost at midfield in front of the HUFC TV broadcast area, HUFC TV and radio, of course. It's a throw-in, James Hideous. Tom Cale getting the only goal of the game inside the opening couple of minutes. But it has been unrelenting between these two top dogs of the competition. Bentleigh Greens had a lot of time in the front third. That ball across the penalty area too high for Tyson Holmes and out of play. At the scoreboard end.
Now, Greg, that sort of tactic will suit Heidelberg. For playing those high balls in the box, it's going to be hard to pinpoint players with that breeze really gusting around.
29 played. Thanks to Unique Automotive, match day sponsors, and of course, Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, J. Fott and Blakey. This afternoon, again, we are actually waiting on progress scores from the women's game. Unfortunately, we'd like to be updating you. As Blake Thompson comes through midfield. Thompson again reloads, squeezes it down the sideline. Mitrovic against the barometer, the veteran Stephen Pace, and it's out of play.
Yeah, the evergreen Stephen Pace shadowing Mitrovic's run that time and just bodied him off the ball. And again, Heidelberg just a chance to soak up some more time off the clock.
And that chill wind whips in again. So deep back right, JW throw in for Heidelberg. They lead it by a 1, half an hour played. It's been a thrill. A minute and into the side netting. It was hammered. I think the hyphenator must have got a touch to it.
Yeah, it did, Greg, because it was headed back into play dangerously, and then the snapshot there. Might have been Hadzi Moratis again.
Mitrovic with the corner on the far side of the stadium. Curls in dangerously. The hyphenator got fingers to it. It rolled clear. First onto it was long striding Lewis. Couldn't control it. Throw in now in front of the comms position. Southern Road end. Right hand side of the stadium. Zidius lofts the throw back downfield. Wesley for the skipper. Inside by a step or two. The Heidelberg half goes short. Corralled is Tyson Holmes. Relief ball back for Wesley. So they're forced back into their own half, the Bentleigh Greens. Been an enthralling struggle so far. Heidelberg, it's a statement game for the Warriors today. No doubt they lead it by 1. Coachless at the moment. Tyson Holmes. The heavy-duty work, but JW with the clearance. Harry Noon keeps it on the deck for Ruben Way. Forced further wide. Dombalis, Zara for Ruben again. Backed himself to get through the Twin Towers. Couldn't squeeze his way through. Bentleigh Greens come up with it. It's been so quick, John. It's been played so quickly.
Yeah, and the Burgers relying on the counter-attacking moves because they've been pinned back for fair portions of this game. As Thompson playing the ball off his shoulder.
Oh, well done, Sean Ellis then. He looked the least likely, and in the end he earns the throw-in for the Warriors. 32 played, thanks to HUFC TV and radio.
Well, I'll be happy with this scoreline at the moment.
I'm pretty happy with it, John.
Because of
yourself?
Well, because of the heavy wind factor, Greg, it's going to make it very hard for the Burgers to really penetrate a lot in this first half. So, but now the counter-attack a chance, but Pacey does well.
Goes to ground after the challenge on Hatzi Moratis, and it's going to be a corner to the Bentleigh Greens. Hey, to their credit, Bentleigh Greens, they're well in this.
Oh, absolutely.
They've certainly had a lot of footy in the front half. As Velibor Mitrovic, corner, far side, Southern Road end. 1-0 game, and it's on for young and old. A glancing header go over the bar.
Might have been Webster that time, Greg. But didn't really threaten the goal, but you can see that's going to be the danger. Heidelberg won't want to concede too many set pieces in this first half.
Got to say they look a lot sharper, having finally had a full, 9-day break, the boys, after 40 days and 11 games rather in 40 days, which is a staggering schedule.
Well, that's a punishing schedule, and about 4 or 5 of the boys would have played all 11 games, which is a fair workload for non-full-timers, Greg.
Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos to midfield. Hammered back. High arc through the sky. One lazy bounce for the hyphenator. Rolls it for Dumbalis. Had some room to move. Just a late last-minute slip for Ruben Way. Doesn't matter. Out of play. Heidelberg throw. Almost to midfield. Les Dumbalis.
He's had a real good battle with Chris Lucas on this near side to us, Greg.
Dumbalis goes down the line, header inside. Oh, well, Cahill went down after the play. I reckon he copped one in the ankle. Tom Cahill, he's brutalised, isn't he? Every single week. And yet he gets up, plays on. Bentleigh Greens on the move. Lurching run from Thompson over midfield. Detour signs us back for Thompson. Right on the halfway line. And just a casual pass for the skipper, Webster. Kind of tiptoed to midfield, very tentative. Heidelberg have come up with the running down this left-hand side. It's JW, steps inside the challenge. JW robbed us.
Just dwelt on it a bit.
Charles Fry was charging back. He did, well, coming up on his opposite side, so to speak. Bentleigh Greens trying to manoeuvre it clear, and sliding through was the Mexican. 1-0 Heidelberg lead inside the last 10 minutes of regulation. It's been an absolute thriller. A barn burner.
Yeah, you can tell the standard has been exceptional, Greg, and just like in the Doherty Cup final. And
yeah, we've talked about that, haven't we? Both, the last couple of times these two sides play, they not only rise to the occasion, but you can see that it oozes quality, these two sides. They're going to be at it right to the business end of the season, possibly grand final again. Mitrovic's got some significant amount of acreage. Goes outside for Lucas onto his left foot. Cheeky ball, handball against Les Dumbalis, I think. He's happy to concede that. So it's going to be a free kick to Bentleigh Greens, and it's in danger territory.
Yeah, this is certainly within range for a strike on goal, Greg.
So, a 1-0 game. Last 9 of regulation in this first half. It's 1v2. And it's going to be the Bentleigh Greens with the free kick. Spotted about 17, 18 metres outside the perimeter of the penalty area. Tyson Holmes is there.
Looks like Velibor Mitrovic as well.
Holmes casually strolls away. So it's going to be Mitrovic, a gangly number 23. He'll hit it right foot and just never got the trajectory right.
Yeah, the effort, and you can see the Heidelberg players drifting back, which opened up the angle there for him. But well, that would have beat the second set of goals, Greg, I reckon.
37 played.
And it's not quite. You can see, I don't know if our cameraman can pick it up, Michael Pitchner there in front of the Heidelberg bench. He's just calmly surveying the situation.
Next to the match official.
Theodoridis Petropoulos launches it long again. That breeze has died away, so he got some distance on that. 2 players down in that clash.
Yeah, head clash. Is that Tommy Cale again? the score of the goal. So you can have a look at that on the slow-mo replay. No, just got the tail end of it.
Well, no beg pardons, no quarter asked or given, and Tom Cahill is down on his haunches.
And just a chance for players to grab a quick drink and maybe some instructions.
Like Godzilla v Mothra. Have you ever seen that movie, John?
I don't think I've seen that Godzilla movie, but I get the gist of what you're getting at.
Two giant beasts fighting in the skies over Tokyo, John. That's how big this game is.
Well, the irresistible force meets the immovable object.
Which one's which? As
you work it out.
Tommy Cahill, well, he wears them well. He's very, very brave and resilient, and got a smile on his face as he takes a well-earned drink.
I reckon he'd be loving this, wouldn't he, Greg? Loves the scrap, doesn't he?
Oh, he really, really does, and he's a beaut bloke as well, Tommy Cahill. And he's got a bit of touch of the white line, like a couple of the Heidelberg players, or most of them, quite a few of them actually. Just switch it on as soon as they hit the paddock.
So it was Charles Fry and Tommy Cahill, the two players there side by side.
So we're 39 minutes old, and Tom Cahill and Charles Fry are both having a breather. So it's down to 10 aside as we speak, as they both get released back into action. And Bentleigh Greens through Brodie Taylor down that left-hand side. Goes against two. Zara's the last man standing. Zara managed to reef the ball away. Sean Ellis saunters clear. Lofts it long, looking for the Tommy Cahill lane. Double team. Webster away by Bentleigh Greens. Zidius still inside defensive territory. Zara went hard against Wesley. Bentleigh Green's ball straight into JW territory. Angles the header away. It's out of play. Throw in Bentleigh Greens at half field. Taken quickly by Blake Thompson. He gets the return ball. Traverses the half line. Thompson square. Wesley. Wesley under pressure from Harry Noon. Plays the 1-2 to clear along with his skipper, Webster. Lots of huff and puff, but Biles is there to clear. Lofted by the barometer. Ellis can't draw it in with that magical left leg of his, and it's going to be a Bentleigh Greens throw. 40 now elapsed, 40 and a half. Heidelberg up by a goal to nil. Early strike, very early strike. Lucas on the ball. Lucas square into Zidius territory. Ruben Way said, not on my watch, and Zidius took his revenge by taking his legs away.
And just again, this again will suit Heidelberg, just kicking into the teeth of a very strong breeze. I'll just be able to reset.
Stakes are huge.
Recalibrate.
Stakes are huge for both sides this afternoon. We've got John and Cameron. We've got Spielberg.
Floating in and out.
Floating in and out. Swan's in and out, doesn't he, the boy? On the dials this afternoon. Jay Fott and yours truly, Greg Blake, on deck this afternoon. Throw in Heidelberg. Thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers and Unique Automotive. It's a 1-0 game. Heidelberg lead. Tommy Cahill go ahead after just 2 minutes. That's the way it stays. The shadows start to lengthen. It's still a chill afternoon. Long ball into the box. Cahill almost drew it in and hooked it across the body. Couldn't quite. JW fetches it midfield. Dumbalis, first time, down the line. The Mexican, Adrian Zara. Zara against two. Dances his way out of trouble. Back for long striding. Nowhere to go. Dumbalis gets the clipped ball off Zidius. Throw into Heidelberg. It'll be Les to take it, the veteran. His 9th year as a Heidelberg player. He's seen it all, and right now he's enjoying the best of times. Heidelberg on top of the ladder as we speak, and a chance to cement that place this afternoon. Goes deep for Cahill.
In a corner.
I couldn't tell you. I could, yes.
The JW looks like might stroll across to take that.
So it's a corner to Heidelberg. We've played 42 and a half in what has been an absolutely rip-roaring struggle. At the Harry Noon corner at the social club end of the ground, and JW will launch it. Right foot far post and glancing header clear. Bentleigh Greens will come up with it. Mitrovic goes first time down the line, left-hand side. Hatzimaradis over midfield. Goes left-right. Dumbalis with the angled header. Trouble still comes. Mitrovic, top of the box, back to goal. Over the top was the skipper. Launch high and long by long-striding Lewis. Back into Bentleigh Green's possession. Down the line, Charles Fry. Outside Zedius into the penalty area. Biles, though, with the clean-up. He's neat. Gave Dumbalis some work to do. He did it well. Greens come again. Rolling the dice as we head into half-time. And the near-post top corner ambitious effort from Tyson Holmes was not far off the mark in the end.
Theodoridis had to be somewhat vigilant that time, Greg. Never really looked like it was threatening goal, but with this wind, you just got to make sure. And I'm sure the Burgers bench will be very happy with the way they've defended. They've had to soak up a fair bit of pressure.
So 2 minutes of time added on for stoppage. We've played 44. So 3 to play. On my calculations, Webster in the foot race with Ruben Way. The former wins out. Zedius down the line into Heidelberg territory again. Dumbalis. Hey, thanks for everybody who's been listening on HUFC radio since its inception a couple of weeks ago. We've had a fabulous response. We appreciate your support, as we do with HUFC TV, as Cahill was charging away.
Paid for the handball, I think, Greg. And now
turned over. Bentleigh Greens, free kick taken quickly. 20 seconds remaining in regulation. 2 of stoppage to come. Takes a cannon. Harry Noon scampers away. He's got support outside in Ruben Way. Into Green's territory by some distance, and Ruben's ball through the gap was wasteful in the end, and Webster clears. Mitrovic.
Confirmation of the 2 minutes, Greg, from the fourth official there.
So we've got 2 minutes to play in stoppage time, round 21. Battle of the Giants, dangerous. Not if you've got this bloke around. Adrian Zara just chased it down, and now he chugs away down this left-hand sideline, over midfield. The Mexican stops. Long striding, goes long, just too high for Harry Noon. Zara, he's been good this afternoon. He just works. They all work so hard, these boys. It's one thing you really love about Heidelberg. Cahill sets off on a run, left the footy behind, Tommy. So he hooks it down that left-hand sideline. Harry Noon at the Harry Noon corner, squares it back to the near post, but Bentleigh Greens will clear again. Lucas inside his own half. Mitrovic goes long. Searching ball outside for Zedius, is it? Hatzimaradis. He's got nowhere to go. Mitrovic forced clear. Wants that right foot. About 20, 25 now, 30 metres outside the penalty area, and Bentleigh Greens retain possession. We've got 40 seconds of stoppage to come. It's been a thriller so far.
Great defending, Greg. Forcing that long ball.
Long for Dumbalis. Angles it away. Zedius. I'll get one last roll of the dice, I reckon, to Bentleigh Greens as Zedius to the top of the penalty area. Barometer says no. Heidelberg come up with it. Harry Noon maybe loses it. 15 seconds of stoppage to come. Wesley for the Bentleigh Greens. Top of the penalty, Heidelberg penalty area. Dumbalis had to be really good to clear that, and he did. And Ruben Way pacing his way down that left-hand sideline, and the referee decides everybody needs a breather. My jolly word, what a game between first and second on the ladder. And at half-time, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers and, of course, our matchday sponsor, Unique Automotive. Wow, it's Heidelberg 1, Bentleigh Greens 0 as the big guns duke it out at Catalina Street this afternoon. Only goal of the game, Tommy Cahill inside 2 minutes, Jay Fott. Quick summary on HUFC TV and radio, and we'll try and get that women's score for you as well.
Indeed, but a typical top-of-the-table clash. Very tight, lots of passion, lots of great play, lots of pace in the game. The only goal of the game came in very early on, hitting the underside of the bar from a Tommy Cale headed effort, and Heidelberg take that lead 1-0 into half-time. They've got 45 minutes of hard work, Greg, but what might help the Burgers in the second half, kicking with the aid of a very strong breeze, all to do, Greg.
Well, if you're listening or watching at home this afternoon, stay right with us because we have got the big one. The barn is burning. The Burgers lead it, 45 to come. We'll see you after the break.
I've just got a bit of news from Box Hill.
Beautiful.
The women's team are down 3-0 at the moment.
All right, so that game, I would suggest Spielberg would be not far away from a finish.
It'll be very close, about 5 minutes to go, I would say.
Okay.
Disappointing news.
Yes, it is disappointing news. We'll keep you updated and come through with the final score as soon as we can. Hey, stick with us. Big second half to come here on HUFC TV and radio. We'll catch you after the halftime break. And a very warm welcome back, HUFC TV and radio this afternoon, live and exclusive. Catalina Street, headquarters, Heidelberg, head-to-head against the Bentleigh Greens as Heidelberg by 1 at half-time. And the shadows now engulfing headquarters, so it actually is getting quite chilly here. The breeze down the ground that swirls and is very cold, heading down toward that southern road on the right-hand side of your screen. Jay Fott, Tommy Cahill's go ahead on 2 and a bit, and that's the only goal of the game, but it's been a thriller minute between these two giants of the competition. Heidelberg get us underway second half, and they will be attacking the southern road end. So it's been a beauty, hasn't it?
Oh, it sure has, Greg. It's going to be a big second half, because you know the Bentleigh Greens will definitely be pushing hard to try and get back into this game as they get their wires crossed that time to JW, and Luke Bowles under a bit of pressure.
And he's accomplished. He's a champ, the Iceman. Out of play it goes. It's going to be a Heidelberg ball from the sideline.
Yeah, you know the Bentleigh Greens would have got a good rev up from John Anastasiadis at half-time, and they'll be up for this battle in the second half. So Heidelberg will want to be right on their medal, Greg.
So a couple of concerned faces up in the social club at half-time. The senior coach and the senior assistant coach, of course, George Katsakis and Jeff Holver, respectively, who are suspended and watching on passively this afternoon. Ellis curls one into the danger zone, and a crash of bodies as Ruben Way goes against Ryan Scott. The latter coming up with the footy in the early going second half under really difficult conditions. Actually, it's pointed out as well that out in the middle of the paddock, because Catalina Street is so open, that when you get that breeze coming down the ground, it tends to swirl.
It's not an easy wind to deal with this afternoon, because it is swirling around and gusts once in a while.
Mitrovic for Bentleigh Greens at that time. So 2 or 3 changes of possession, and finally it's back with Stephen Pace. He lost one long, hooked away by Charles Fry. Powered back in by JW. Ball to ground. Webster clears again for the Bentleigh Greens. There was a lot of possession by the Bentleigh Greens in the Heidelberg half in the first half, but defensively the Warriors have held up well, and they won't have to be concerned about that as Zedius launched one right footer, and it went searing across the goal face and out of play.
Yeah, good run there, but undid all the good work that time by just being a bit too vigorous with the cross. Went away safely. But that's going to be the pattern, I think. So Bentleigh Greens now know they have to come out and try and grab an equaliser.
Theodorides Petropoulos guns it long, bouncing ball. Ruben! Oh, well done by Ryan Scott.
Well, there was a chance for Ruben Way, Greg.
Well, you won't get a better chance, but how about Ryan Scott just to get the judgment on it, to get the foot in the way, and it will be a corner to Heidelberg. There won't be many better chances than that.
Oh,
we can't bring you the replay on that right now because
Spielberg is he's missing some several moments.
So Sean Ellis with the corner. Might have been 2-0. Ellis near post. Dangerous. Right across the face. Hammered by the champ, but fetched on the line by Ryan Scott.
Well, I think it bounced off the post in the end, Greg.
And again, we can't get the replay on it. Well, what a start to this second half.
Amazing. They've a couple of opportunities there, but Ruben Way, lovely flick on by Tom Cahill, and well, they could have been 2 up early in the second half, and Ryan Scott keeping Bentleigh Greens in the game just.
So they've already got the 600 lux floodies on over Catalina Street. They will come into effect over the next half an hour or so as it darkens here This Melbourne July afternoon, round 21, clash of the Titans. Heidelberg and Bentleigh Greens. Throw in sideline Zidius. Gets it back, launches it for Lucas. Hooked away by the skipper, long striding Lewis. Just inside defensive territory. Hits Zara at half field, stabs it square. Ellis looks up, left footer is gorgeous. Cahill's offside by a step and a half.
Yeah, well offside that time, Greg. You could see it on that side.
How are we getting...
Well, that replay certainly won't show, but I reckon he was at least a foot or two offside there. But, my goodness, they almost did it again, Greg. Early part of this second half, the Burgers almost... Well, you wouldn't have said it would have been all game over, but certainly would have made it really difficult for Bentleigh Greens, who twice within a minute nearly had their goal line breached for a second time.
Biles heads are clear in that time. Hall heads are clear. Still in defensive territory for Heidelberg. Hop and a skip and a bolting run by Reuben. Gets deep into Bentleigh Greens territory. Webster can't quite clear it. The ball took a cannon. Ellis goes over the top for Zara. Wide left, the Mexican. Back for Biles, just inside his own half. And they'll come again. Heidelberg. Ellis has a gap to work through. He has his shirt scragged. Nothing called. And he hits the deck. Still nothing called. Interesting.
Could have been 2 or 3 free kicks there, but the referee letting it go. And well, we don't mind that as long as they're consistent, Greg.
So a throw in to James Zidius in defensive territory for the Bentleigh Greens. Thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers and our matchday sponsors, Unique Automotive. Where are they again, John?
They're in Dundas Street, Preston, Greg. 94843431.
And you know they're unique because they say so. Bentleigh Greens. Lots of huff and puff, but they have yet to trouble the scoreboard attendant this afternoon. Back for Scott. Goes left lane now. Blake Thompson down the line. Seen by Ellis, and he just edged it out of play. Bentleigh Greens restart. Sideline ball in front of the coach's box. Ellis will clear. Noon was cheeky off the outside of his boot. Zara sees the runner and Reuben Way, who has the gear shift to reach that one. Inside, outside. Inside is the run. Back for Noon. Zara. It's Noon at the top of the box. Cahill, and then Noon spoons one over the bar. Well, they've come out with intent. And in the second half, the Warriors.
Yeah, the chest down there by Tommy Cahill was shot by Harry Noon. Never really got set, Greg, on that ball, and was never comfortable trying to volley that, and as a result went well over the bar. But they're certainly pinning the Bentleigh Greens back in their own half.
Well, there's always some subplots to matches between these two sides, and plenty at stake this afternoon. Louder position. Heidelberg, can they do it coachless? Psychologically, which team takes the advantage into the latter rounds of the season? Not sure. I think that score from Box Hill was a final score for the women this afternoon in the WNPL. So 0-0 at half-time, and the women going down at Wembley Park this afternoon by 3-0. We're 8 minutes and a tick into this second half, and Heidelberg still with that 1-goal advantage. Lewis Hall decks it into Harry Noon territory. The flag went up. Harry Noon hit the ground, and Bentleigh Greens will go again through. Jack Webster went very, very long, and in the end missed the target completely. Hatsumuratis just had to watch it over the line.
Yeah, there's that replay, and Harry Noon maybe just a fraction just off the shoulder there of Webster. It'll be a Heidelberg throw though.
Arm wrestle as the big guns go toe-to-toe this afternoon. Ball out of play, and what happens in front of the coach's box stays there. But it's going to be a Bentleigh Greens throw taken quickly. Blake Thompson back for Webster. Toe pokes it back into Ryan Scott territory. He returns the favour. The skipper just outside his own penalty area. Zidius in that right-hand lane. Great pick-off. Not sure who it was. Noon!
Oh!
Wow, you would not see a better goal than that as Harry Noon launched a rocket in under the crossbar, and it's 2-0. Oh, my Lord.
Great challenge there by Ruben Way, which freed up Harry Noon. He took a quick look up there, Greg. Saw the keeper just marginally off his line. Powers that shot, and it dipped in beautifully inside that near post. Then on 54 minutes, Greg, the Burgers 2-0 up now. And, wow, they've put their stamp on this game now. And that's Harry Noon.
Harry Noon with a moment of brilliance puts Heidelberg 2 goals to the good, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers. That's take your breath away stuff.
Oh,
J-Fod, take your breath away stuff.
Very sweet strike, and there's the man on the ball that set that up. Ruben Way with a big contribution with that goal, because he won the tackle, and Harry Noon only needed half a yard, and bang, pulled the trigger and picked that out of the net. Ryan Scott said Harry Noon.
Harry Noon is setting new standards for goal scoring, isn't he, in the last couple of games? Bad Noon rising. It's going to be a throw, and Ruben Way to take it on that far side. About 10 back from the corner flag. Big leap by Cahill against Wesley.
And we've got I believe we've got a special guest commentator, Greg. Welcome, Demi.
Hi, boys. I just got sat down and put headphones over the top of me. How are we? Okay.
Well, what a time to come in, Demi.
I know, right? Oh, wow. Harry Noon. 2 goals against Knights last week, and there's the third. Easy peasy.
So it's going to be JW with the corner at the Southern Road end, out of sight. Heidelberg by 2-0 against the Bentleigh Green. Searching corner taken by Ryan Scott, scampers away. Knocks it upfield. Lucas back heel on. Mitrovic. Return ball looking for Lucas. Dumbalis in the end back to the hyphenator. Lucas came. The hyphenator was steady under fire.
Yeah, well
Dumbalis a step away from Lucas. Left foot. For
it was great play by the skipper that time, Greg. Just calm, cool and collected. Back to the keeper. And but you know that Bentleigh Greens, they're not out of it by any stretch of the imagination. As Ruben Way gets taken down on the midsection there.
It's been an incredibly entertaining match to watch, guys.
Well, it's the 2 best sides in the comp, no question about it, Demi.
Yeah.
And Greg, and well, the Burgers turning the tables a little bit on Bentleigh Greens, but they're still 33 minutes to go, Greg. So goals in the 2nd minute and the 54th minute, Greg.
Heidelberg up by 2-0 thanks to Windsor Management. And cross comes in. Webster away. Ruben, top of the penalty area, left-hand side. Back now for the runner. That was Luke Biles in attack. Biles again. And crash, bang. Wow.
LA.
That was an LA freeway. And yellow card is going to go against Webster. Free kick for Heidelberg. They're up by 2. And Jack Webster is in the frame for that. And
well, they're still committed. Did you see that melee, Greg? There was 5 or 6 in there. It was like a thick pea soup.
That was a bit painful to watch there.
Well, they're all okay, but Burgers 2-0 up and controlling this game now.
Sean Ellis will have the free kick duties, and I'll tell you what, the game is on the line for the Bentleigh Greens right now. If Heidelberg score again, Sean Ellis waits, evaluates, measures the diminutive number 19 left foot curler. Headed clear.
Boys, I've got
John Barlis, Ruben. That's the voice of Demi.
I have a question for you, boys. What do you think of Ruben's form since he's returned?
I'd give it a solid 8. Thank you, Demi. A solid 8, perhaps 8.5. Ruben Way there. Squares it inside. Noon, long way out from the target zone. Trips, stumbles, wins it back. Well done. Did enough to poke it back for Sean Ellis. And they'll come again. This has been a great second half start by Heidelberg, including a payoff on the scoreboard. Ball out of play. Far side, Bentleigh Green's ball.
Yeah, they did the hard work in the first half. Absorbed a lot of pressure from Bentleigh Greens, who had a lot of possession in their first half, but rode the challenge as well, and now starting to reap rewards with the aid of a strong breeze there.
JW, long and deep to the left-hand side. Cahill's there. What's the call?
That's a corner kick.
Corner.
Beautiful.
Off Charles
So, corner to Heidelberg. It's getting awfully dark, awfully quickly.
And awfully windy.
It's been the strong breeze heading to that Southern Road end all afternoon for those that are on HUFC radio to the right of your dial.
So it has been an engaging opening hour as the two top dogs clash this afternoon. Heidelberg by two. Corner comes in and Ryan Scott over the back of the pack. Did well to collect it. Just took a bobble. Clears. Sean Ellis was nearly onto it. Ball to midfield. Mitrovic kept honest. Goes about 5 back for Wesley. Charles Fry now manoeuvres it over midfield. Wide right-hand lane. And they'll have to come again. So they go round the clock. Wesley to Webster. To Blake Thompson at midfield. Wide left now for our listeners on HUFC radio. Tyson Holmes up Route 1. Lucas, cheeky. But swept onto by JW. The ball bobbles into the path of Noon. Square. Cahill got some room to move. Long way out from the drop zone. He'll get it back. It took a cannon. It's Ruben. JW wide left. 2-0 Heidelberg lead. Back for Biles. Taking a step or two inside attacking half. Hits Ellis outside of the penalty area. Square across the face of goal. It was all Bentleigh Greens.
Yeah, Thompson with the clearing cut out that time, Greg, but we're finding a few opportunities here.
Tyson Holmes with the up and under. Hatzimaradis will match it step for step with Dumbalis. Hatzimaradis. It just was flying away, wasn't it, John Fodinos?
Yeah, the good counter-attacking move that time. Les Dumbalis showing him the outside. And the shot was always veering away, but I tell you what, it wasn't far away from Dimi Hatzimaradis. And once again, Bentleigh Green showing that they're by no means out of this game.
2 to get back into the contest. 3 to win is the equation for the mighty Bentleigh Greens. John Anastasiadis, former star of this club, but he's done his coaching down at Bentleigh Greens has been impeccable, putting together quality sides year after year as Cahill gets a steal against Blake Thompson, runs it to the line, into the area, the stab, Sean Ellis, to Harry Noon, second effort, high Noon, bad Noon rising, and 3 on the board, and Heidelberg have taken what may well be an unassailable lead, and Harry Noon scores again.
Well, he saved it once, saved it twice, but then the header back in and an easy finish. But Tom Cahill again, the pressure from Heidelberg, closing down Bentleigh Greens, causing the turnover. Lovely ball in. Sean Ellis with the first effort. Great save, a second save there by Scott, but couldn't keep the third one out. And they are batting down the door, Greg. 3-0 on 63 minutes, and it could be well and truly game over at this stage.
I mean, credit to Scott just then. He did his very best, but he couldn't keep Harry Noon at bay.
Well, that's 4 in 2 games for Harry Noon. He's on the ball again, 4 in 2, because he's owned the second half of the Knights game. He's owned the second half of this one so far. Heidelberg now, Harry Noon almost spearing it in for Sean Ellis, but that time Ryan Scott sees it to safety. It is a 3-0 game. We've played 19 minutes, second half. I don't think you'd have predicted this one. Coachless Heidelberg, and they are 3 goals to the good against the Bentleigh Greens.
And they're owning the contest now, but again, Bentleigh Greens The attack.
Mitrovic. Trouble for Heidelberg. It's Brodie Taylor into the penalty area. Gets around Dumbalis. Brodie went far post. He saw that there was just a window of opportunity and he just couldn't drag it in as much as he might have wished, and it curls around the woodwork and out of play.
Well, they nearly hit back straight away, and Heidelberg will be, sighing a bit of relief that time that didn't squeeze in at that far post. But 3-0, Greg, 65 minutes in, and Harry Noon, 4 goals in the last, 4 goals in the last 100 not even 110 minutes, Greg.
Well, and they've been goals of some quality.
But it was like an irrepressible force that time. As again, look at the pressure. Tom Cale dragging back Wesley that time.
So it's a free kick to the Bentleigh Greens. They've got a power of work to do now, Bentleigh Greens, to get back into this one. Well, so the seesaw continues between these two big-time teams here in the NPL here in Victoria.
Well, the question was, Greg, who was going to make the statement? And second half, it's been Harry Noon that said, I want to own this contest. And 2 goals within the first 18 minutes since the restart has just about decided this contest. But, there's still a fair way to go. So I wouldn't just about write off Bentleigh Greens yet, but
Cahill with the win at midfield. It's going to be a yellow card for the Bentleigh Greens player. In the meantime,
Stephen Pace.
Yeah.
The barometer is down on his haunches and not looking at all well. So, no, get the physio out there.
And who was the player that got the yellow card there? Did we pick that up?
No.
Might have been Wesley, I believe, but
I'll find out for you.
We'll confirm that.
I can find that out for you.
So Demi joining us in comms for this second half. Has she become a good omen for us?
Well, she's got here and they've gone bang, bang twice.
Should sit here more often, boys.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fabulous.
I'm trying to keep up with social media. It's pretty difficult, I got to say.
It's going to be a Heidelberg free kick. Stephen Pace looks okay. He's up and about. Theodoridis Petropoulos takes the free kick. JW, wide left, pops it into the penalty area. Cleared by Fry. They come again, JW. Caught wide as Ruben Way. Manoeuvred his way about 20 metres back through. Very heavy going. Long striding Lewis, JW. And he pulls it back for Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos.
In fact, confirmation of that yellow card, Greg, is Brodie Taylor. As Bentleigh Greens through Lucas pick up the loose ball. Mitrovic now driving through. Gets around one challenge. Goes square ball. And what a sensational block that time by the skipper, Luke Biles, who put his body on the line now. And Ruben Way will come away now. Looking for Tommy Cale. Webster, though, gets there ahead. As Bentleigh Greens drive forward again. Lucas with an outside ball. Harry Noon, though, says not on my watch and boots the ball downfield. Ryan Scott, the keeper, picks up the loose ball. Now Charles Fry in his own defensive half.
Just to recap, Joe Fott again for those just joining us. Heidelberg up by, read it and weep, 3-0. Harry Noon, 2 goals in second half. Tommy inside 3 minutes into the game, and Heidelberg have got a significant lead to defend. And again, if you're just joining us, thanks to Windsor Management Insurance Brokers and Unique Automotive. As Heidelberg about to go to the bench, just quickly, the women this afternoon at Box Hill. We had the cameras down there, but they went down by 3-0. Jay Fott, there's movement on both benches as we hit the 23.5-minute mark.
And it'll be a return of Jack Petrie, who's been unavailable for the last couple of weeks, making a welcome return to the squad. And he'll take the place of his usual partner in crime. It'll be Lewis Hall, long striding, who's, to be fair, has had a really good game and been fantastic in the last few weeks.
And a double change for the Bentleigh Greens.
Yeah, it'll be James Kelly and also Matt Thurtell. So they're going to the strike force as Lucas and Wesley are the players to make way, Greg. So all action stations down there at the halfway line.
So it is Bentleigh Greens looking down the barrel right now. They're down by 3-0. Double change for them. As Heidelberg clear, Cahill did really well. The top cat got the opener this afternoon. First touch, or second touch actually, for Jumpin' Jack Petrie. Ruben for Petrie for JW. Still on the halfway line on the...
That was Les Dumbalis.
Zara down Route 1. Cahill wanted to run it round the defender. Instead he finds Dumbalis outside left, and Ruben Way went to ground, just took a slip as Dumbalis powered the ball forward. So we'll get a breather, 25 minutes in.
Well, they've certainly taken a lot of the heat out of the game, but well, they've made
a lot of heat, Joe. You've got 20 minutes to play. They've got to get 3 back.
Yeah, we certainly have. But Heidelberg certainly have made the statement early part of this second half through Harry Noon, and comfortably lead 3-0 on the scoreboard.
Just an observation, Jay Fott. I don't know if you're feeling the same. We'll just go with the play, or will we? Yeah, we will. JW, this time he bobs up on the right-hand side, gets a cannon in front of the coach's box and get the throw in. You know, the Doherty Cup in this game, there was 2 goals in the Doherty Cup. It's 3 goals to the Heidelberg in this one. You don't feel like there's that much between them, though, do you?
It's just taking your chances on the day and basically
I think with
making a count.
I think with these 2 sides, the first goal will define a lot of the rest of the game.
Heidelberg get the win as Bentleigh Greens came forward. And that was an awkward ball, and Bentleigh Greens run it away. Brodie Taylor at midfield, facing off against Sean Ellis.
This has been one of the good features of Heidelberg's play. In the transition, they tend to fan back well and just close up the spaces, not allowing Bentleigh Greens to play the ball out quickly. You can see there they have to just keep recycling, and allows Heidelberg a chance to set up their defensive line quite well.
Afternoon becomes early evening almost. It's very dark here at Catalina Street, but it'll be lights on and celebrations should Heidelberg win this round 21 game against a side that these two have taken on the mantle as being the 2 powerhouse clubs in the Victorian Premier League this year.
And they'll both have a big FFA Cup matches coming up within the next few weeks. Heidelberg, of course, will take on Northern New South Wales NPL side Charlestown City Blues here at Olympic Village on Wednesday, the 1st of August.
And how do you reckon the stand-in senior coach is feeling right now, Jofa?
Well, he's 1 from 1
He's
at the moment.
Well, he's actually 2 from 2 because he told me on Thursday night that he had this opportunity once before, so he's 2 from 2.
He's got the man with the Midas touch, Greg.
Not real bad, is it? As the ball back at the Southern Road end with Ryan Scott. Heidelberg up by 3-0 remarkably in this top-of-the-table struggle. Ladder-wise, this is magnificent for Heidelberg.
Well, as it stands, I'll go 5 points clear and plus a number of goals on goal difference.
And a game in hand.
Yep.
Ball in Heidelberg's half. Sean Ellis there. He's caught and trapped, but
Harry
got
Noon.
it back. Harry Noon loses at midfield. They just look a little step off. I reckon they're a bit shell-shocked, Bentleigh Greens at the moment. As Tommy Cahill goes against Webster, then Noon against Webster, and then finally it's run clear by Tyson Holmes. He's forced right. Great ball inside. Mitrovic stabs at that one. Mitrovic gets the return, and Mitrovic hammers it left foot wide of the post.
Well, there was the opportunity.
That was a ripper. Opportunity and not taken.
And that's the way it goes when you're not having the good game, Greg, because he had the gaping wide goal mouth and sprayed it wide because they worked that well. A series of 3 or 4 passes. Cut open the Heidelberg defence, and Mitrovic failing to take full toll with that one, Greg. The Theodorides was really beaten well and truly that time.
16 minutes remaining in regulation time in this second half. And Heidelberg lead Bentleigh Greens remarkably by 3-0 as Sean Ellis goes deep, right-hand side. Pass one, took one out of the play. Harry, ball takes a cannon. Harry gets it again, draws it in, back for Jack. Petrie launched it for Cahill. Clearing header, Bentleigh Greens launching himself toward midfield as Mitrovic. Detour. Knocks it inside. Bentleigh Greens got to find something very soon, you would think. Webster upfield. Well done. Stephen Pace. Great anticipation. Didn't he do that beautifully? Under the circumstances, he was all elegance.
Yeah, just reads the play so well to Stephen Pace.
Throw in Bentleigh Greens toward the Harry Noon flag at the social club end of the ground.
There's Bentleigh Greens probably enjoying one of their better spells of the game.
Tyson Holmes. He goes way back for Ryan Scott, who's a long way out of his penalty area. We'll come again down this left-hand side. New man in, James Kelly. He's almost robbed. Cahill with the late challenge that put Blake Thompson on the deck. And it will be a free kick to the Bentleigh Greens. That wind has abated somewhat, but it's still quite chill now in this early Sunday evening.
Certainly is a lot more still now. Not much breeze at all at the moment.
Webster awkwardly into his own attacking half, and he went long and he knew it was awful, and it was awful. So Chris Theodoridis Petropoulos will take ample time, if he's able, to relaunch. 14 minutes remaining in regulation. And to all intents and purposes, the tension is out of the game. Tom Cahill with the go-ahead very early on in the game. Harry Noon, second half. 2 goals and top of the ladder. Thanks to HUFC TV and HUFC Radio. Thanks to
Unique Automotive too.
And Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, of course.
It's the perennial great supporters of our coverage, Windsor Management.
I hope you've enjoyed it this afternoon. If you're Heidelberg supporters, they'll be breaking out the brandy and having a celebration. Light a stogie, sit back and enjoy the remainder of the game and the spoils of victory as Harry Noon gets a win. It was Tom Cahill, rather.
Turned it
over, running clear is Blake Thompson. Ball inside is sharked by the Mexican, Yariba. Ellis leaves it for Noon. Outside ball, awkward series of passes, and yet they come off. Ellis caught at midfield between two. Kelly for Bentleigh Greens. Tyson Holmes. Mitrovic.
A lot of sting's gone out of it, Greg and Demi, because at 3-0 the Burgers can just sit back and pick them off. But Bentleigh Greens certainly haven't given up the ghost.
They're working the footy, but they're not really getting anywhere, are they?
I think it's incredibly important for the boys to keep a clean sheet in this game. They have conceded as of late, so yeah, they'd be looking not to concede at this point in time.
Looking fit and sharp and top of the ladder material, Heidelberg at this point. 3-0 over Bentleigh Greens inside the last quarter hour. Ball for Cahill, hammers it. Great stop, Ryan Scott. It was a great cross from Ruben Way.
Well, they could have had 5 or 6 this afternoon had it not been for Ryan Scott, who gets down well again that time.
Ellis, you reckon if there's another goal in this one, it's going to be a Warrior? Zara gets arm wrestled to the ground, or it so appeared. Zara gets nothing. Mitrovic out of jail, scampering toward midfield, through midfield, Zedius, crash and a bang. And the ball spills loose, and JW will come up with it. Wide right. Carpets it back for Stephen Pace. He goes long, off the chest of Harry Noon. Controls it against the challenge of Blake Thompson. Zara lofts it. Runner outside is Ruben. Ruben against Sidious. The ladder wins out, just judged it a little better. Turns it round the corner. The runner is Tyson Holmes. The challenge is Ruben Way. The ball is out of play.
Yeah, let's look at that shot again as Tommy Cale sets himself up. Well down is Harry Noon. Looks like he'll be substituted, but nice save there by Ryan Scott. As Harry Noon, the scorer of the double this afternoon, so he won't be able to take home the match ball, Greg. No hat-trick this afternoon for the second week in a row.
So he is just, look at him, Harry Noon, the bad Noon rising, 2 goals, second half. Bentleigh Greens are out the window. Yeah. Harry, he's amazing. As Harvey Reid checks in, John.
Well, he's an important player, Harvey Reid, because has had an opportunity in a few games, and as they come away again to Bentleigh Greens, but
Mitrovic powers through midfield. Petrie tries to keep pace with the lanky number 23. He goes left, right, way over the head of the running Timmy Hatzimatsaris. Yeah, they've got nowhere to go again.
And again, forced back.
Gee, they've been good at that this afternoon, Heidelberg.
Just harassed in numbers, haven't they, Greg?
Bentleigh Greens threaten again, and
Reid with the foot in.
So Harvey gets his first touch, and it's a good one to get Heidelberg clear. Bentleigh Greens come again. Outside left, Brodie Taylor through 2. Brodie Taylor almost got a fortunate cannon off the barometer, and the final shot from James Kelly was ugly, scruffy, and wide of the mark.
Desperate.
Yeah, well beaten to look the Bentleigh Greens this afternoon. Just one of those games for them. They've had a couple of opportunities in the second half, haven't taken full advantage of them. But to be fair, Heidelberg might have had a couple themselves, but for the wonderful keeping of Ryan Scott.
This is a victory, and I'm going to frank the W right now for Heidelberg. We're into the last 9 of regulation. They lead by 3-0, the Mighty Warriors. But you've got to say that this Heidelberg outfit of this era, despite all the circumstance, that tidal wave of injuries and heavy scheduling and coaches suspended and et cetera, whatever the game has thrown at them, they've just come through. This afternoon, in a statement game, 3-0, top of the ladder.
And as Demi said, I can't underestimate the value of that early goal. And again, Tommy Cale, just through sheer will, forces a corner kick.
Webster was very wise in the end. Demi was nodding her head in agreement as well. It's remarkable what these boys have weathered, Demi.
Yeah, it's incredible to watch. Again, they were like this last season as well. Their persistence with every game, and.
And you would say, wouldn't you? You'd say this is a lucky roll, but the lucky roll has continued into a second season. They won't lay down. They won't die.
No.
As Ellis launches one header. Taken cleanly
Tommy
by
Cale again.
Ryan Scott.
Guys, Ryan Scott.
He's had a bit of an afternoon, hasn't he?
He's been in the way tonight.
He really is.
It looks like they'll make the change, Greg. Just as a precautionary, I would imagine. Stephen Pace coming off on the with about 8 minutes to go or so. And it'll be a chance for the youngster, George Tselakidis, to have a bit of a run.
In the number 18, and he gallops out on the paddock. He's got about 8 minutes to play out in this struggle between the two giants of the competition.
Don't know if it was much of a struggle tonight.
Well, it has been.
No, that's
Demi, hubristic.
Yep. You're sauntering into hubris, and we won't accept that here in comms.
They've been certainly Heidelberg have deserved the win if it does finish this way, but don't underestimate Bentleigh Greens. As Greg has said countless times in the call, they'll be up there, and you could just about see these two sides on current form playing a big role in that final analysis.
Well done. Les Dombalis gets the W against Mitrovic and then clears it for Cahill almost at midfield. The ball bobbles around out of play.
Yeah, it was off Fry in the end. But
so you've got to call it now. It's 3-0 Heidelberg, around about 6 to play.
Yes, it's been an emphatic performance, Greg, because as we said, this will take the Burgers 5 points clear and probably about 8 or 10 goals to the Goodwin goal difference. So that's almost worth another point within itself.
Mm-hmm.
An extraordinary team takes another extraordinary step in an extraordinary journey. Because Theodoritis Petropoulos almost played himself into trouble.
Yes.
Well, he backed himself a couple of times. He's going to concede the throw, but that is sharked by Les Dombalis, whose left foot round the body, high and long for Cahill at midfield. Ball takes a bounce, force forward, Zara, Cahill, square ball, Salakidis, first touch, not sure.
Yeah, wasn't
and just threads it back for Harvey Reid.
He had Sean Ellis making the run. That's another poor clearance by Chris Theodoridis.
Getting a little bit lackadaisical is Zidius on the run. Zidius forced wide right. Just a step or two outside the penalty area. Social club end, left foot, dangerous, difficult, and hoisted over the bar in the end.
And JW there just wondering what the hell's going on because the cross...
It's pandemonium in the Heidelberg defence.
Well, they're just getting a bit lackadaisical, Greg, you said. And one could excuse that, I guess, with such a commanding lead. But
So 40 played now at Catalina Street, near post, cleared.
Ellis with a clearance that time.
So the road continues for Heidelberg just quickly.
Next Sunday, double-header, Greg.
It's a beauty, men and women. Next Sunday afternoon, the women will lead off against South Melbourne, and then Heidelberg take on South Melbourne, the traditional derby on the road. Both the men and the women will be covering both games, Joe Foot. So it's a corner to the Bentleigh Greens. Mitrovic takes it. Angled header clear, glancing header clear by JW. Greens, well, they're not giving it away, you're right. But Kelly, Heidelberg have had all the answers this afternoon. They are truly the top dogs in the comp right now. JW over the top, perfectly timed. Mexican away. Wanted to get a stride on his opponent. Instead checks back. It's the runner, jumping jack Petrie. Petrie from Ellis. Salakidis, Petrie. Down the line, Dumbalis, outside left. Ruben, under pressure. Kelly's there, or is it... well, it doesn't really matter. Ruben just stands his ground anyway.
Yeah, goal kick in the end.
Well, much ado about nothing in the end. 42 played.
And it's just a matter of now...
Playing out time.
And working out how much stoppage time there might be played. But yeah, Burgess certainly will go out.
Well, it's certainly emphatic on the scoreboard. There's no doubt about that as Jack Petrie goes to ground.
Boys, I'm going to head down to the rooms now to prepare myself for the song.
Post-match, yes.
Yeah, and post-match. So I'll see you then. Thanks, boys.
Thank you for...
Thank you, Demi, making her elegant exit as Sean Ellis makes an elegant run down the sideline. Can't get a look for his left. Back for Petrie. All taking time off the clock. Ellis again. Oh, through the gap. Threaded it perfectly. Zara, inside ball. J-Dub was almost onto it. Petrie again. Wins it. Salakidis, square outside. Ellis from long range, the curler. There's that breeze gusting up again as Heidelberg look to put an exclamation mark on the scoreboard. 42 minutes played, nearly 43. Heidelberg lead by 3-0. As Ruben draws the free kick.
I'll just slow it down now again, just set it up. As Spielberg's back in the...
so quickly...
It's been musical chairs here this afternoon.
It has been. Can you get it more elegant than myself?
Goodness gracious, was that even a sentence?
No, it was...
I think you should be given a sentence.
That was an appalling use of the English language. As Heidelberg looked to stamp this one with a late goal, perhaps, 43.5. Keep an eye on the fourth official, but this is Heidelberg's win. Now, quickly, Jay Fott as we go into the... Oh, long... High ball, Zara. Whoops, a daisy. Oh, right across the face of the goal and wide of the woodwork. It was Ryan Scott again, who just got a paw to it.
Yeah, great through ball there and well taken down by Zara. Hit it first time and Ryan Scott just kept the hand powerful enough to force it just past that left-hand post.
So we've got 44 played. I can see the fourth official's board, so he's going to add 3 minutes of stoppage time. Doesn't matter, it's all in the books now. Sean Ellis with the corner. Didn't quite hit that as he might have wished. Noon back to goal. Up and under ball from the skipper is wasted in the end. Well,
Sean Ellis couldn't play that because he was offside.
So just quickly, Jay Fod, give me the exact situation with the ladder, if you can. It's going to stay this way, I suspect.
Well, Heidelberg will go to now 50 points ahead of Bentleigh Green's 45, and they will go there with a game in hand on all the other teams bar South Melbourne after this round. So
that is amazing stuff from this Heidelberg side, coachless. Well, not coachless, but without the senior coaches on board, both suspended. Bentleigh Green's forced back to Ryan Scott again. 3 minutes, so 2:55 of stoppage to come. The win is in the books. The wild ride for this amazing side just continues.
Sensational effort this afternoon because
Cahill with the give and go. Sorry, Jay Fott. Cahill on the run into the penalty area steps, deliberates, shoots, ball cannons away. Salakidis.
He's been busy since he's come on.
He has. George. And Heidelberg again. Cahill did the hard work. Ball pinballs around. Zara brought to ground. No call. Fry got the half clearance. Oh, they are relentless. Ooh. Petrie was impeded in a big way and hits the deck, so it's going to be a free kick to Heidelberg, still in dangerous territory.
May I just add that South Melbourne are 2-1 up.
Against?
And within earshot right now
of the top six.
Of top six.
Well, they'll be 4 points away from Melbourne Knights, so it's been a remarkable recovery, which makes next week's game a big game as well, Greg.
Oh, well, they got, I think, people dismiss it as hyperbole, but Heidelberg's playing big games every other week these days. So that's huge next weekend. It'll be Heidelberg against the old enemy. In the meantime,
Sean Ellis looks like Greg will line this shot up.
90 seconds remaining in stoppage time, second half. Heidelberg by 3 thanks to Windsor management. It has been a wonderful display by the Warriors. Is Ellis. Well, he sent that ballooning over the bar as the senior coaching team who weren't able to be involved today look
right
pretty happy and they wander past. No smiles there.
No, they're just a steely resolve, Greg. It's in keeping with the theme.
Get on with the business. We've got around about 55 seconds to come in stoppage time on what has been a red letter afternoon for the Warriors and the Warrior Tribe. They'll be celebrating long and loud here at the Social Club tonight. Restart quick from the Bentleigh Greens. Through the gap. Nope. Almost was Brodie Taylor, but it was George Salakidis, yes, who's had a good 6 or 7 minutes since he came into the game. Last 30 seconds. If you're at home this afternoon, as Cahill's legs were taken away, this will be the last play of the game. If you're a Heidelberg supporter and you're listening on HUFC radio this afternoon, as we come toward the final whistle, stand up and cheer and acknowledge the greatness of this team. As
Spielberg took it literally.
Yep, speaking of...
I'm standing up.
Yep, of course you are. He's struggling today. Lots of smiles this afternoon. JW launches it through the air. We've played the allotted 3 minutes.
This will just about do it.
Harry Noon with a couple of second-half goals. And Tommy Cahill with the opening goal of the game. Wow, wacko. Heidelberg, the tension was palpable this afternoon coming into this one. So much riding on it. And in the end, the Warriors, scoreboard-wise, they've done it with ease. 3-0 win, Jay Fott to sum it up.
Well, an emphatic win in the end. The early goal from Tommy Cahill setting that up with the Burgers having to defend for large periods of that first half, facing a stiff breeze. But enter the second half and Harry Noon puts his stamp on the game with another double, his second in successive matches. And the Burgers 5 points clear on the ladder, Greg.
5 points clear on the ladder. They are the top dogs, the Mighty Warriors. 3-0 over the Bentleigh Greens, the arch enemies this afternoon at Catalina Street. It's been a beauty. It's chilly, but we are warm to the cockles of our heart. Let's sign out for now on behalf of Windsor Management Insurance Brokers, Unique Automotive, Jay Fott, John and Cameron, Spielberg and all the team. This is Blakey saying a very good evening from headquarters.